Hey, how's it going, guys? Domino21 here, and back again with another deck profile for you all. So just here hanging out with everybody. But yeah, so as requested by you guys in my recent match that I've posted up, displaying my newly built Julia deck for Jewel Knights. Julia, of course, being the promo introduced for the April set. Julia is definitely I'd say a big improvement for Jewel Knights, at least for now until set 14 with Ashlei reverse. But definitely what I like about Julia, it does bring a little bit more combo plays, a little bit more offensive plays you can bring forth to your opponent around the late game, as opposed to just Salome that just provides a constant crit. So Julia definitely brings out some different style of play for this deck. So I really love Julia in this deck so far. Let's see here, I do have some Orcas, some new Orcas, courtesy of some buddies of mine. Cecilia, of course, courtesy of my buddy Vic. Of course, because Cecilia, and then Karumi. I mean, obviously you see my mat. But yeah, without further ado, let's actually get right to it. So of course, for the starter, you have your Dreaming Jewel Knight Tiffany. Still, definitely, I'm really liking this card more and more now, just as a starter in general. Just because, being able to fix columns to either make them a lot more, make more ideal columns to hit maybe, let's say, cross rides and such, or just making more higher tier columns is always good. And of course, I am still playing the second Tiffany, just because it's a nice card to tutor into if you need to, and it allows you to just continue your plays of just creating some higher tier columns. So definitely like double Tiffany. And in worst case, if you do happen to draw into your second Tiffany, well, it's a 10k shield to work with. So definitely good to run two in the deck. The next up for grade 3s, of course, you're going to have your 4 Jewel Knight Ashlei. I mean, not much more to say about this. And then, of course, you have your 4 Fearless Jewel Knight Julia. So with Julia, what she does is Limit Break 4. At the end of battle, when she attacks your opponent's Vanguard, you Counterblast 2 and Superior Call as many Jewel Knights from your deck equal to the number of crits she has. So one thing to remember is that, well, all cards in Vanguard always carry a regular crit, so you're always guaranteed to at least call out 1 unit. But of course, combining her with a Jewel Knight Ashlei gives you a little bit more powerful synergy. Of course, because adding the extra crit to her, of course, allows you to call two units for the Counterblast 2. So really nice to get some nice pluses and initiate some nice combos at your opponent as well. So what I also like about the skill is, like, if your opponent's at 5 damage. Crits are usually never dead, because obviously, if your opponent's at 5, you can just give crit to, if you check a crit trigger, you just give crit to your Vanguard, power to rear guard, so you can essentially reset a whole column. So really good, powerful skill. I do kind of wish that she was 11k, but whatever. What's nice is that she does still attack for 13 by herself, so really good to take on cross rides. So that's it for grade 3s, simple as that. Then grade 2s, you have your 4 Tracie, 12k attackers. I mean, very important in the deck. Then you are running your 3 Pathetic Jewel Knight Olwen. Now, as much as I really don't like this card, but running a little bit more Olwen in the deck, it's a little bit more necessary, just for the fact that he's an 11k attacker. And especially in Julia, especially with how you're trying to initiate your combos, a lot of times you need to be attacking for good numbers with rear guards unboosted. So having access to more 11k or 12k beaters is very essential. And then we are still running the 3 Sybil. Now, of course, in the Salome build, I do recommend 4 Sybil. Just because, combination with Sybil or Salome, you're always going to be able to maintain a field. But with Julia, it's very important just to prioritize your Counterblast solely for her. Because, of course, with Salome, you don't always have to use her secondary skill to Counterblast, because you have Sybil, who can also do it for you too. But with Julia, you'd really want to commit the Counterblast to her. So Sybil is just another Jewel Knight to play. I mean, there's really no other options anyway. But she gives you some good options just to get some nice little +1s early in the game. And if you can heal once, then, well, you still have Counterblast for Julia. So Sybil is just a decent option to play. Well, only option, that is. And then grade 1s, you have your 4 Shellie, 10k attackers. Not much more to say about that. 4 Perfects, obviously. 4 Prizmy. Prizmy is just your drop and jar when you place him on rear guard, and you have 3 other Jewel Knight rear guards, so just a good 7k in general. And I am running 2 Uriens. Now, I know with this 2 card slots, I know this is where people like to play Little Sage Marion, of course, which is the 8k for Royals, but I decided to actually go with Urien just because he's a Jewel Knight. And the fact is that with Tracie and Shellie, there can be consistency issues, since you have to have 3 other Jewel Knights. in your rear guard. So Urien just helps with that consistency. And while Marin's good just to, you know, put behind your Ashlei or Julia to hit for 21, I mean, most of the time I usually keep my starter behind my Vanguard anyway, and it's still hitting for a solid 18, so it's not that essential to try and hit that 21k mark since Julia is already initiating, you know, extra attacks, which is, I mean, a strong enough offense as it is. So I didn't want to break any type of consistency in the deck. So simple as that. And then, last but not least, for triggers, which is probably like the most important part of the deck. You have your 4 crit, 3 crit, 3 more crit, and 2 lose for 2 more crit and 4 heal. So you're already 12 crits in the deck. I like 12 crits a lot in this deck, especially for Julia, because like I said, with Julia, crits are never dead, essentially, even if your opponent's at 5. And also at the same time, I mean, this deck is a very offensive style, has a more offensive playstyle as opposed to Salome. So, I mean, crits only benefits that kind of playstyle, because I mean, if you crit your opponent early, you just dish out a lot of damage early on, and then just gives them, makes them more vulnerable to Julia. And also, obviously, of course, crits are just good to help enable Julia even further. So, I mean, with this deck, you're not really expected to, you know, last too long and get your opponent. I mean, you're not really trying to play too, you're not really looking at defense as much as opposed to offense. So, the 12 crits really work really amazingly well with this deck. So, simple as that. So you guys, that is all. It's really not much more to it. It's not very interesting. I don't know. Kirill here is just on his phone.
What's up?
Just watching on. I don't know. Nothing's going on. Yeah, guys. As always, leave a comment down below. Any questions, concerns, and such. And
the belly bar.
Where?
Belly bar.
Belly bar. Well, how do you know it's not here or not there? I don't know.
You know?
But yeah,
I mean,
anyway.
you were talking about her, it's right here.
Oh, anyway, guys, don't forget to leave a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for watching, and see you guys next time. You're supposed to wave.
Oh, okay.
There you go.